black culture. Now, someone in most places, and I've tried this in maybe a half a dozen places, it was always at the top of the list, right off the top, music. So I would put music on the board. First thing in black culture, music, M-U-S-I-C. Then I would turn around and face the audience. Okay, anybody like to try something else? Silence. That's as far as we got. And even the music was not explanatory, because what's music to one person is noise to another. So what's so special about the music of black people that would cause people to do things that need doing? That would be my question. You know, if it's black music, I mean, it must be unique. But not only unique, but when you listen to it, it causes people to do things that really need doing, really ought to be done, that the world absolutely has to have it, like food. Otherwise, things are a mess without it. I tend not to believe that, even though it might be true. But things are kind of messed up in spite of it. So it must be some other elements that go into black culture. Maybe the music does help. I'm not talking against that, because I don't really have a definition for black music anyway. I've heard a lot of sounds that people call black music, but I think sound. And some sounds sound very similar to so-called sounds that other people have made or arranged. I like to call it arranged because sound came with the universe. Black people don't make sound. White people don't make sound. Sound came with the universe. So you arrange sounds. You don't make sound. You don't create sound. Sound is here. You just arrange the sounds that are already here. Unless I've been misinformed by logic. Logically speaking, sound is already in the universe. Otherwise, you could hit a drum and nothing. You wouldn't hear anything. So I don't know of anybody who claimed that they invented sound. They arranged the sounds that are already here. Now, when you hear the sound, what does the sound make you do? And like I have said in many a talk, based on compensatory logic, everything in the universe is either constructive or non-constructive. These are the two categories. There's no category in between. So if I hear a certain sound, and that sound inspires me to do something constructive, then that's what logic tells me is music. If it inspires me to do something non-constructive, like go and tear up something that shouldn't be torn up, or shoot somebody who shouldn't be shot, then that's not music, that's noise. That's the only measure according to compensatory logic or any other logic. I call it compensatory because I'm just presenting it that way. But let's go back to the board. Number one, blacker. Now, this is not just any culture. This is black culture, meaning this is something that only black people do. And the world needs it. Absolutely must have it. Total requirement. Existence is nothing without it. So you put music, number one, on there. I never got any farther than that. Maybe when other people tried, maybe we can get to number two, and maybe number three, and number four.
Spirituality.
No audience that I have ever talked to has gotten beyond music.
What about
everybody talks in generalities for the most part. I won't say everybody, but a lot of people talk in generalities. They'll just say, what we need is more black culture. But nobody stops to say, wait a minute, what is it? They'll say, well, it's things that black people do. Well, I hope that wouldn't include everything that I see black people doing. With that kind of label on it as black culture, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But let's go back to the specifics if we are going to say, now this is something that's really needed by anybody that's got any sense. So we put the music on there, even though that's argumentative. We'll put it on there anyway, and we'll get to the details later, just as a start. Then we move to number 2, and that would be what?
Rhythm.
Rhythm.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a part of music. Rhythm, you know. You don't have to have instruments, rhythm. I mean, I guess that's rhythm when you walk. You walk with rhythm. But what's the purpose of walking? And where are you going when you're walking? And what are you going to do when you get there? See, all these factors come into what you call culture, because culture is what you do at the time that you're doing it. So if you're going to put a label on it and say, hey, everybody should drop their culture, everybody shouldn't think that their culture is better than mine, because they need to stop and take a look at mine. Because whatever you see me doing, maybe you ought to check it out, because maybe that should be what you should be doing. And really, if it's really worth something, everybody should be doing it. Everybody should be copying everything that black people do. But I would not recommend that to anybody at this particular moment in history.